Good morning, everyone, and welcome to On the Wrong Lead presents Saratoga Daily. I'm Mark, and we're going to be talking a little bit of Thursday's Saratoga action. Card today was substantially changed because of some rain that we got over the last 2 days. They have taken everything back off the turf, so you're looking at a card that a lot of the field sizes got shrunk, a lot of the competitiveness got shrunk, and I think it's more of a spot playable card than gee, I love this sequence. It's going to be one of those cards where you're going to, in a lot of these races, I think initially of the 10 races, like 6 of them are on the turf. When this happens, you're going to get a lot of situations where you in your head have a value that a horse makes sense at, and you're going to bet to that value. Hey, I'm getting odds I like. I feel this horse makes sense here. You're also getting a lot of these horses that have always been turf horses, always run on turf, and you're getting to see, can they run on dirt as well? Those types of scenarios are hard. But before I get into this card, let me talk a little bit about other things we have going on this week with On the Wrong Lead. Both Thursday night and Friday night, we're going to have live streams. Thursday night, we're going to cover the Kentucky Oaks card, and Friday night, we're going to be covering the Kentucky Derby card. I'm going to be trying to cover the stakes action over here on Saratoga Daily, and yeah, there's a lot going on this week. Everybody's got Derby fever. It's exciting to see all the ideas come out, all the other people who are putting out content, putting out things, and sort of seeing where everybody lands, where everybody's leaning going into the Derby. I've already capped it. I feel the race is pretty skinny, but tune in Friday and you'll get to see my real opinions and my real plays here. So going back to Saratoga, we're off the turf, so you need to make a couple of distinctions in these types of races. First thing you need to look at is, are the horses you're betting actually dirt-capable horses, or do they have a pedigree that's so skewed turfy, or have they maybe tried turf where you can rule them out and not use them? Second thing is, I've actually seen pictures of the track today. It is not good. It looks fast. And what normally happens in days when we get a lot of rain in Saratoga and it starts drying, the track becomes extremely speed favoring. Horses that make the lead carry that speed very well. Quote-unquote cheap speed is very good to bet because those horses tend to be able to utilize that tactical speed. You want to look, if you're a Briz person, you want to look towards E and EP style horses. So starting off, I'm going to make a little bit of a pick 3 here. Hopefully I can spot play and get some odds. I'm going to attack this early pick 3 sequence for a couple of reasons. One is there's a lot of people that cap this on the turf, and they maybe either don't know what Saratoga does when things come off, or they don't realize this has been taken off, which happens quite a bit. So you tend to have some not as educated money in the pools. So I like to attack these early sequences. And this is a Maiden 75. A bunch of these have run on dirt and have proven they're not dirt runners. Somebody like the 2-horse is a horse that has run on dirt multiple times, and when you see a horse that doesn't do very well and then steps up and is more competitive, right? Not super competitive, but more competitive. These are the type of horses that I do not want to include in plays. And there's one horse in here that I find super interesting, and that is Coil Road, the 1A. Mike Maker decided to, this is, first off the claim from Cass, first off the trainer change from the Cassie barn into the Maker barn, and he's dropping this one in for a tag. Maker does really well with this move. He's 27% on this. Jose Ortiz gets up. I imagine he put Jose up because I think he does use a lot of Jose on the turf, and he was assuming this was going to be on the turf, but he left this one in. We see these big wet Tomlinson figures, so if there still is a bit of water in the track, this one should handle it better than most others in here. And speed figures are okay. Now, those speed figures don't always translate to being on the dirt, but a good horse can run on both. When I look at the pedigree, I see Quality Road over Giants Causeway. Those are horses that can sort of run on anything, both top and bottom. So this is one that I think, I don't think you're going to get anywhere near the 2-to-1 morning line, but I think the horse definitely is an A in my book. The other one here that I think takes a lot of money, and I don't know how to use him, is Lost in Rome, the 9. Bruce Levine trained, comes out of the Clasaris barn into the Levine barn. It was claimed away. This horse does not like to win. If we see this horse is, 5 of 6 starts hit the board, just doesn't ever quite punch that win ticket, right? This is the type of horse that is probably a must-use if you're somebody playing a pick 4 or pick 5. But if you're playing a pick 3 or a double, I think you can ignore this horse. I think this is one that hasn't shown a propensity to win, doesn't really seem to want to win. This is the type of horse that I really like to sort of fade. I made him a hesitant B, and the reason I did so is I think I'm leaning pretty heavily on a horse that I've never seen run on dirt. That scares me. And I also like the fact that this horse has shown some speed in the past, has been forwardly placed, and if the track is playing in a way where that cheap speed is carrying, this horse might just get the lead in here. It might not stop. How I see the race setting up is I see the 9 Lost in Rome being on the lead, but Coil Road sitting that pocket trip. Hopefully Coil Road's good enough late and handles the surface and can pass going down the lane, but it may just be a fact that the cheap speed here carries. And so I have it structured like this. I also use the 3 and the 6 in here. Magic Mojo is a horse with big Tomlinson figures. Uncle Mo, over Giant's Causeway, it seems to be a bit of a theme here, is another one that makes some sense. I just don't like these running styles. The running lines, the horses could be coming sort of more out of it. And I think that was my issue with the 3 in here as well, Stonecastle, who's a horse that I don't know if he'll run on dirt, but I see Super Save around the top, and that to me says dirt horse. And I see these really low Tomlinson figures for the turf Tommies. That makes me think that this may be the right surface for this one. I just don't love Dylan Davis here. He's not the kind of guy I expect a heady ride out of. And if this one does show that likes the off-going, is he going to ignite, or likes the surface changes? Is he one that's going to pick up on it? So I have this one as a C. We can maybe catch a flyer here. Going on to the second race, this is one of those, again, cheap maiden races, and I do like these on days where things have been changed around because it allows me to spot play and sort of move things. This is also one of those handicapper conundrums that I've talked with a couple of people about how we feel about this race, and this is really, really a polarizing race. Long-term thinking, the 3 here, Clairvic horse, who has not been seen in over 180 days since in November of 2019, was running in Maiden Special Weight Company in New York, in New York, Parks, Monmouth, couldn't quite get it done, seems to have a bit of the hangs, and we're dropping to the bottom of the barrel in a turf race here, in a dirt race. You can look at this 2 ways. It's Clairvic. They don't care if they lose the horse. This is probably not a black type horse, a horse that's going to win a stakes or even an allowance horse. So for Seth, he doesn't really care if he loses this one. He wants to win big races. That's what gets him going. They also paid $175,000. That's not a crazy purchase price. Her horse already won $38,500. If this one gets, if there's going to be like a 10-way shake to get this horse will be claimed. He gets 38 in purse plus another, it's a maiden 20, so assuming they win, they're going to make, $80K back of 175. Now, losing half your money doesn't sound like a good business opportunity, but for somebody like Clairvic Stable, where they're okay and they're looking to win big races, okay, we got half our investment back, we took a shot on one, obviously something went wrong, this one didn't turn out to be as good as they had hoped. And Chad Brown is just stellar on these drops. He's 40%, and it's that time of the meet where if you have one kicking around the barn that maybe live and you can get rid of, you don't have to move him back down to Belmont. You don't have to continue to feed him and pay barn update fees. Somebody else takes this horse. Maybe this is one that is super, super live here. A ton of money is going to be singled to this 3. I'm hesitant to get singled here, and so I ended up with 3 horses in here as Bs, and this 3 probably wins by 10 lengths and makes me feel like an idiot. But I went out and I was looking for horses that I knew could handle dirt, and horses that had a pedigree to handle dirt and are getting easier company today. We can see, the 6, my first Grammy, Hernandez gets up, he has had a good meet. He's had I think actually Hernandez was his only win, and they had a real bomb win. Horses run decent figs. They actually ran this horse in an allowance up here as a maiden, and I think the logic was just wondering, maybe I don't know, was that horse primed for that start, or were they just taking a shot because they thought that race came up soft? I don't know the logic there. You know, they also ran this one in the Florida Derby back when it was under a Florida special trainer. Obviously, hopes were high. They didn't pay crazy money for this one, and this seems like a much softer. Obviously, I shouldn't say seems like. This is a much softer spot. Maybe this is just a horse they shipped to Saratoga and said, hey, we're going to try to dump this one, and we don't care if it gets taken away. And you also see its owner trainer here. So, it was a private purchase. Mejia may have thought he had something here, and is just saying, hey, let's take an opportunity. I don't know what he paid for the horse. He might not have paid much more than the claim here, so he's okay dumping this one. But again, Curlin over Giants Causeway, pedigree says that this one should like dirt, and this seems like an okay spot. You see Breeze Bio taking another step down the class ladder here. Kendrick's on. The reason I use this one is just that early speed. Kendrick's gonna go. I assume that they're gonna full send and he's gonna get real loose here. Is this one good enough? Hasn't shown to be good enough in the first 4 starts, so I don't know necessarily if this is enough of a class drop to get it done, but this is one that if the track is really speed favoring, could get loose. The other one is here, and I want the other maker of the Rad Horse. This is, when I look at the pedigree here, Curlin over Brother Derek. Not all people know Brother Derek, but just, big wet Tomlinsons, low turf figs. I'm assuming this one is a dirt horse, handles it quite well. And again, I don't know why I'm going into so much of is it a dirt horse or not here, but because this was a dirt carted race. But I guess my logic here is I want horses that, you can say I use the 6 with the 422 wet Tomlinsons, I'm using the 8 with the 401 wet Tomlinsons. I'm looking at horses that if there still is water on the ground, it may move them up. Maker's not phenomenal debut maiden claim, considering some of his other stats are off the hook good, but I think this is one that makes a lot of sense here as well. For the maiden, and a maiden showing up in a race where there's a lot of questions, maiden first timer showing up in a race where there's a lot of questions and you're looking for a bit of that outsider, works were not really helpful here, so I ended up sort of spreading out. And I would say, let me go into that a little bit from a ticket construction standpoint. If you are a smaller player, toss the 6, 7, and 8 here. Just use the 3. And in spread in the first and the third legs, because I think this 3 horse is probably a 50 or 60% winner. If you're putting a small ticket, take that leverage. You'd be better to be, this is a $100 structure where my all A is a $6 ticket. If I move the 6, the 7, and the 8 out of this, my all A becomes $13. I'm over double the leverage on on something I think happens 60% of the time. Just on a math standpoint, that works out pretty good. And you could even move the 6, the 7, and the 8 back to C's here. It shrinks your total play. You go from 6 to 9, so you got a 50% increase in that all A size, and the structure is actually a little easier. So I may end up actually playing it this way myself. But in the third leg here, this is the PG Johnson, which is another normally really good race that just scratched to all hell, given that everything came off, and I'm effectively buying this. To me, the horses that are most likely turf horses are both of the Pletcher entries, but most likely dirt entries. I don't know why I can't get this straight today. Both Union Gables and Con Lima are horses that have wins on dirt. They were taking obviously Union Gables only got in with this coming off, but Con Lima was a horse that they were probably going to take a shot with on turf, thinking that this one may like it. It's a Pletcher. It's a horse that was moved out of another barn into the Pletcher barn. He does really well with this. I don't know. I haven't seen which riders have been nominated here, but both of those are dirt horses, and they're dirt horses in a field full of what are probably turf horses. Somebody like Simply Ravishing the 7, Laraban, which I realize is out of Uncle Mo, out of More Than Ready on the bottom end. That to me screams, there's a lot of turf pedigree there, both top and bottom. Mischievous Thursday, I think they just left in here just to take a shot, because this one had to, they ran this one at Maiden 40 at Delaware. We can go into all sorts of Caleb comments about those mid-Atlantic shippers coming here. And Mischievous Dream is been very, very good, was not disgraced at all in the Bolton Landing. This arguably came up easier than the Bolton Landing, giving all the scratches. this one takes to dirt, maybe a really usable horse here. I had a hard time differentiating in this one because there's a lot of these that sort of could potentially be good dirt horses as well. Maybe just ended up on turf initially for some of these shorter distances. Obviously, we're going longer here. I felt this was a race where I didn't have a strong opinion, and I'm buying it, which is not a great strategy, but I'll take it. I'll take it here. So structure I ended up with was doing a little bit of fishing. I think I'll probably end up playing that move back to the sea that I had here. I would actually look at what this 1-3 daily double pays. Because I don't have an opinion in the third leg, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people, I'm putting up a pick 3 here so that I could talk through the stakes race. The smarter play here is to slam this 1-3 daily double. I'm leveraging my opinion in the first leg. I'm leveraging my opinion in the second leg. So instead of playing a $100 ticket where my all-A is $9, I just play a $100 daily double that's the 1 over the 3. That's the smart play. I'm not always smart, and I like to talk through some of these races and give some nuggets out for days like this where we have surface changes. So let's put it this way. I've done the pick 3. I think I'm going to go back to just a $100 double slam. I'm going to go 1 over 3 in the first 2 legs. And let's flip down here really quick to... I don't even know if it's worth my time going through any of these other races. This 6th race, this is the New York State Stallion Series race, is probably the co-feature on here. The horses that I really like in here, I'm looking for speed horses. Spinny Yarn makes a ton of sense. It's going to be very, very forwardly placed. And Big Q is the other one in here that made a lot of sense. Forwardly placed, dropping out of easier company into here. Has been held in all, we're talking restricted races here versus open races here. So I think Spinny Yard is your more likely play, but Big Q was a works horse coming into this, and maybe gets that really nice setup in here, facing some should be easier friends. I like Spinning Yarn on top. I'm not probably saying anything unique or different here. I think Spinning Yarn is your morning line favorite, and I think there were a couple scratches in here. I think that's your most likely winner. And when we get onto some of the later sequence here, I don't want to bash Saratoga for having a bad Thursday card. They do have to run a lot of these optional type races. There's a lot of preps. There's a lot of people using the Saratoga as this end of the Saratoga training to get a race into their horse and to ship on to bigger and better things. So these will be preps for a lot of other people. And a lot of other slots, so they have to run these. I get it, but yeah, tune into our content that we have going on tonight. Stream I think for Oaks Day should be really good. I think it's a little bit of a chalky card, but it's going to be one of those chalky cards where you're going to chase that pick 5 and you're going to have 3 real ice cold singles and one of them is going to lose, and finding that horse that it loses to that can be that B or C type for you is going to be really important. I think we'll have some good insight into that. So please like and subscribe. It means a lot to us, and if you enjoyed this content, check in. I'll have another one up tomorrow, and good luck at the races.